Sophie Cunningham has arrived in Indiana, and she's ready to silence the haters. While some claim nobody wants to play for the Fever, Sophie is proving them dead wrong. From her first words to her first workout, she's bringing energy, toughness, and a championship mindset. Could she be the missing piece Indiana needed? Let's break it all down. But before further proceeding in video, if you're new to the channel, please support by hit that subscribe button for more updates.
Hey guys, it's Sophie Cunningham here. I'm finally in Indiana and I am so excited to be here and meet all of you. See you guys at the game. Bye.
Does that sound like someone who's hesitant about playing for the Indiana Fever? Absolutely not. Those are the words of a player who is all in, a competitor who thrives on energy, passion, and intensity. Sophie Cunningham isn't just arriving in Indiana. She's storming in like a force of nature, ready to flip the script and ignite a new era for the Fever. With her signature toughness and fearless attitude, she's stepping onto the court with one goal in mind: to elevate Caitlin Clark and this squad to new heights. This isn't just another roster move. This is a statement. Indiana Fever fans, get ready because Sophie is here to bring the fire.
Oh gosh, this is the first time I've seen my jersey. I love this. It's like I'm a rookie all over again.
Picture this. While Sheryl Swoopes was doubling down on her claims that players don't want to be in Indiana, Sophie Cunningham was doing the exact opposite. She wasn't sulking. She wasn't questioning the move. She wasn't even slightly hesitant. No, she was poolside in Phoenix, soaking up the sun, completely unaware that in just a few moments, her career was about to take a thrilling new turn. And when that phone call came through, no shock, no doubt, just an immediate rush of excitement. Heck yeah, we're about to go win a championship. That was her first thought, not hesitation, just an unshakable belief in what's possible. That's the kind of mindset that changes franchises. That's the kind of energy that fuels championship runs. And now, that energy belongs to Indiana.
Yeah, you know, I'm stoked. I'm so excited. I think it's refreshing. I've been in Phoenix for the past 6 years, was drafted out there. I've had a really great time. I've been very blessed with being around a lot of GOATs in the game and learning the game on another level. But again, like, this is just a new style, and this is the style that I thrive in. When you have people who can shoot the ball, who move the ball, who are running gunners, and share the ball, like, this is the type of offense.
So much for the tired claim that star players are steering clear of Indiana. Sophie Cunningham just blew that myth to pieces. While critics were busy finding new ways to doubt the Fever, Sophie was already mapping out a championship run with absolute confidence. If anyone needed proof that Indiana is becoming a true destination, her unwavering excitement should put all the negativity to rest. The doubters can keep talking, but Sophie, she's here to win.
How impactful will it be for you and your family to be back here in the Midwest, something that Caitlin had as well, and within driving distance for everyone, right?
I love it. You know, my roots are here in the Midwest, and just to be closer to home. My sister is married and has a kid, has another one on the way, and family is everything to me. I have a really great...
For Sophie, this trade is more than just a move to a new team. It's a homecoming. As a Missouri native, returning to the Midwest is deeply personal. The moment she was introduced to Indiana media, she couldn't hide her excitement. "I love it," she shared with a smile. "My roots are here in the Midwest, and being closer to home just feels right." This wasn't just any transaction, it was a reunion with the place that shaped her. The significance of being back in the heartland isn't lost on her or her family. With her sister married and expecting another child, the timing couldn't be better. Family is everything to Sophie, and having that strong support system nearby means the world. And she's not the only one excited. Her home state fans are already gearing up for the season. I've had over 100, maybe even 200 people reach out asking about season tickets. She laughed. I was like, I have no idea. I just got traded 2 hours ago. Missouri fans are about to make their presence felt in Indiana, and Sophie couldn't be happier. My Midwest roots run deep. It's amazing to be around Midwesterners again. They're my kind of people. But what makes her arrival even more impactful is the energy she's bringing to the locker room. In a league where star power can sometimes come with oversized egos, Sophie made it clear from day one, she's here to work. "I'm just excited," she said, "but honestly, the best teams are the ones that put egos aside. If everyone is here to win, work hard, and do the dirty work, that's when something special happens." That mindset is exactly what the Fever need. Sophie thrives on outworking opponents and having fun while doing it, an approach that has already resonated with fans. Social media exploded with enthusiasm the moment the trade was announced. She wasn't just joining a team, she was embracing it completely. Of course, transitions take time. Even for someone as driven as Sophie, there's an adjustment period, not just for her, but for her new teammates and the entire Indiana organization. It's a whirlwind, she admitted. There's always a period of getting used to everything, but once you settle in, you realize you're part of something rare. If you're not paying attention to what's happening here, I don't know what you're doing. And she's right, this is exactly the kind of addition Indiana needed. Sophie isn't just a player, she's a believer. She's all in on what the Fever are building, bringing both talent and passion to the franchise. While some critics continue to push outdated narratives, players like Sophie are proving that Indiana is no longer an afterthought. It's becoming a destination in the WNBA. Even before stepping on the court, she's already forming connections. Asked about playing alongside Caitlin Clark, Sophie's response was filled with admiration. She's changed our game in every possible way, for the better, she said. Just to be alongside her, to help relieve some of the pressure, to spread the floor so she can do her thing. It's exciting. Last season, Clark took her share of hits. Cheap shots, hard screens, unnecessary contact after the whistle. Opponents treated her like a punching bag at times. But now, things are different. The Fever just added something Clark didn't have before, a true enforcer. Sophie isn't afraid to be that player. Diana Taurasi took me under her wing, and I learned a lot from her, she shared. Now, I hope to do the same for Caitlin if she wants it. More than anything, she understands that building something special requires everyone to buy in. The relationship piece is huge, she emphasized. I want Caitlin to go out and do her thing, and whatever she needs from me, I'll be here. But make no mistake, Sophie isn't just here to play nice. She's fierce, she's feisty, and she's unapologetically competitive. Sophie Cunningham isn't just arriving in Indiana with her basketball talent. She's bringing an identity, a fire, and a reputation that opponents have learned to respect. She's recognized as one of the WNBA's most relentless competitors, the type of player who refuses to back down, the kind of presence that makes opposing teams hesitate before testing the limits. Cunningham isn't just another addition to the Fever roster. She's a force, an enforcer, and a teammate who will go to battle for those alongside her. During her first press conference with Indiana, Sophie made it crystal clear who she is and what she stands for. She spoke with conviction, leaving no room for doubt. I'm fierce. I have attitude. I defend my teammates. I defend myself. Those words weren't just a description, they were a promise, a statement of intent, and perhaps the most significant declaration Caitlin Clark has heard since stepping into the league. Clark's decision to join the Fever has done more than elevate the team. It has brought an entirely new wave of attention to women's basketball. Her presence alone has drawn an influx of fans, creating a level of excitement Indiana hasn't seen in years. Sophie understands this impact. She embraces it. She's not just here to play, she's here to make sure this movement continues to grow, and more importantly, she's here to ensure Clark and the rest of the Fever can play without constantly being subjected to unnecessary hits. Because let's be honest, last season was rough for Clark. It was impossible to ignore. Game after game, she was knocked around, bumped, and targeted, often without any real consequences for those delivering the blows. The physicality intensified as the season went on, and yet there was no one on the Fever's roster truly stepping in to send a message. It felt like watching a fighter in the ring with no one backing her up, absorbing hit after hit while the opposing side took full advantage. Clark needed protection. She needed someone unafraid to set the tone. Now, that problem is solved. This is exactly where Sophie Cunningham thrives. She isn't just another player. She's the type who changes the way teams approach a game. Throughout her time in Phoenix, she built a reputation as the ultimate teammate, the kind of player opponents knew better than to mess with. If anyone took a cheap shot at one of the Mercury stars, they quickly found themselves dealing with Cunningham. And now that same fierce loyalty extends to Clark and the rest of the Fever. Her toughness isn't just about physicality, it's about presence, mentality, and the willingness to do whatever it takes to give her team an edge. Sophie embraces physical battles. She finishes through contact. She creates space for her teammates, fights for position, and never shies away from the dirty work. Indiana desperately needed that last season. Too often, the Fever found themselves on the receiving end of physical play without the ability to respond in kind. Opponents dictated the level of aggression, and Indiana was left trying to keep up. That dynamic is changing now. Sophie has never been afraid of a challenge. If a game gets rough, she's not backing down. If another player tries to impose their will, she'll be there to push back. She's the kind of competitor who not only embraces physicality, she thrives in it. Having her on the roster doesn't just benefit Clark. Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, and the rest of the Fever now have someone setting a different tone. Opposing teams will be forced to rethink their approach. The old rough-up Clark strategy, that comes with risks now. Any team trying to get away with excessive contact will have to answer for it, and that changes everything for Indiana moving forward. And it's not just about physicality. There's a basketball fit here that almost feels unfair. Cunningham's style of play complements the Fever's core in ways that should make other teams nervous. She's not just a bruiser. She's a skilled, fearless competitor who can knock down shots, create chaos, and disrupt opposing game plans. On top of that, she has a long-standing respect for head coach Stephanie White. The two have known each other for years, and Sophie has admired White's coaching style from afar. Now, after joking for years about playing under her, it's finally happening, and Sophie couldn't be more excited. She's not just here to fill a roster spot. She's not just here to play a role. She's here to make an impact. She's here to protect, to push, and to elevate this team. And if there was any doubt before, one thing is certain now. Indiana just got a whole lot tougher. Sophie Cunningham's reputation as a fierce competitor has always been front and center, but her elite shooting might be the real game changer for Indiana's offensive evolution. Last season, she knocked down 38% of her shots from beyond the arc, adding another deadly perimeter threat to complement Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and Kelsey Mitchell. When opposing defenses collapse, throwing 2 or even 3 bodies at Clark, Cunningham will be waiting on the outside, locked and loaded, ready to make them pay. The Indiana Fever aren't just acquiring another shooter, they're bringing in a multi-dimensional wing with a knack for hitting big-time shots. And when Sophie Cunningham gets hot, she doesn't just sizzle, she scorches. Cunningham's 3 is good. Cunningham from the corner, money. On the defensive end, she's locking down assignments, disrupting passing lanes, deflecting shots, and snatching steals before finishing at the rim with an and one. She put up 12.6 points per game while shooting a blistering 40% from deep, numbers that had her in the conversation for most improved player. Cunningham isn't just a shooter. She's a floor-spacing, defense-breaking sniper who forces opponents to respect every inch of the perimeter. For 3 straight seasons, she has ranked in the top 20 in the WNBA in three-pointers made per minute, and now she joins a Fever backcourt featuring 2 of the top 5 three-point shooters from last year, Caitlyn Clark and Kelsey Mitchell. This trio is a nightmare for defenses. The synergy between Cunningham and her new teammates is undeniable, and she knows it. "This is the style I thrive in," Cunningham said with excitement. "When you have people who can shoot, move, and share the ball, that's the type of offense I want to be in." Over the last 4 seasons, Cunningham has maintained an impressive 38% shooting clip from beyond the arc. Among players who have made at least 203 triples in that span, only 4 in the entire league have been more efficient, and one of them is now her teammate, Kelsey Mitchell. The spacing she provides will revolutionize Indiana's offense. With defenses stretched thin, Clark will have cleaner passing lanes, Aaliyah Boston will see fewer double teams in the post, and Mitchell will have more breathing room to attack closeouts and create her own shot. But don't overlook Cunningham's defensive versatility. In Phoenix, she proved she could guard positions 1 through 4. One night, she'd be locking down a star point guard. The next, she'd be battling in the paint as a small ball power forward. Indiana is looking to level up defensively, and Cunningham's aggressive, in-your-face style aligns perfectly with head coach Stephanie White's vision. At 6 feet 1 inch, she offers lineup flexibility the Fever lacked last season. Need a quicker lineup? She can play the 4. Need more perimeter size? She can hold her own against bigger wings. Her defensive instincts create turnovers, fueling Indiana's transition attack and sparking momentum-shifting plays. Cunningham is in the prime of her career at 28, and her arrival amplifies the Fever's championship aspirations. Picture this: Clark driving into the lane, drawing defenders, then kicking out to Cunningham, locked and loaded in the corner. Boston carving out space in the post as the defense scrambles to recover. Mitchell poised on the weak side, ready to punish late rotations. Add in the veteran presence of Natasha Howard, Dewana Bonner, and Lexi Hull. players who bring firepower on both ends, and you have an offensive explosion waiting to happen. And let's not forget experience. Cunningham has been in the playoff trenches, logging nearly 300 postseason minutes over 6 seasons. That's invaluable for a Fever team looking to make deep playoff runs in the coming years. The numbers back up what the eye test already confirms. Pairing an elite passer like Clark with a sharpshooter like Cunningham is a recipe for offensive efficiency. The shots that were heavily contested last year, now they're open. The high-risk passes, now they connect with space to operate. The Fever's offense, which stalled at times in crucial moments last season, now has another lethal weapon in its arsenal. Cunningham's mindset is clear. She's here to win. When I saw this team, my first thought was, let's win a championship, she declared. Indiana Fever fans, get ready. The pieces are falling into place. The vision is coming to life. And with Cunningham's firepower added to the mix, the road to contention just got a whole lot more exciting. Sophie Cunningham wasted no time when she arrived in Indiana. No media, no introductions, just basketball. She hit the gym immediately, grinding through contact drills and shooting reps. This wasn't just another player joining a team. This was a champion setting the tone. Caitlin Clark has changed our game in the best way, Cunningham said, recognizing the star power Clark brings. But Indiana's true transformation comes from the championship pedigree now filling the locker room. Remember when Sheryl Swoopes claimed no one wanted to play in Indiana? That narrative just collapsed. Veterans like DeWanna Bonner, Natasha Howard, and Sydney Colson have chosen the Fever, bringing finals experience, leadership, and a winning mentality. Cunningham, a 2021 WNBA finalist, knows what it takes to win. The Fever now boast 4 players with a combined 9 finals appearances. Add that to Clark's vision, Aaliyah Boston's dominance, and Kelsey Mitchell's scoring, and suddenly, Indiana isn't just playoff bound, they're title contenders. Cunningham's first move spoke volumes. Straight to work, no distractions. She understands playoff basketball, where toughness wins games. And when it comes to Clark, she's handled so much pressure, Cunningham said. Instead of judging, we should uplift her. The Fever just got a whole lot tougher. Sophie Cunningham isn't just here to play, she's here to win. With her fiery attitude, elite shooting, and relentless defense, Indiana is gearing up for something special. The message is clear, the Fever are no longer the underdogs. Are you ready for what's coming next?